Hi, Kat. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Nicole?
I'm good. How you feeling? Just a week out from the fight.
I believe the word we're supposed to use is great and good, but I'm just really glad training camp's over.
Since you got your first Bellator win out of the way, do you feel like less pressure going into the next one, or like more pressure?
I don't know. Honestly, I kind of like try to tune into that myself, but given the moment, it changes. When I'm like mangling people at practice, I feel great. When I'm sitting there tired from, it being the last of the 10 practices I have a week, and I feel beat, so it really depends on when, but overall I feel really confident. And I've been watching myself meet marks and even surpass some of the goals that I had throughout this whole training camp. So it's been really good, and I feel excellent about it.
Yeah, I mean the first Bellator event really of this like chunk is going on tonight, so that probably like gets you like more motivated to like get back in there, right? Watching that.
Yeah, and it really helps having gotten the first fight during kind of the peak of quarantine and COVID being super strict and weird, because now that things are a little bit more lax, I don't know how much more lax because I'm obviously not there yet, but when we do get there, it won't all be a first. It won't be the first time I'm, stuck in my room for 48 hours, and won't be the first time I have to figure out how to cut weight without a sauna, without a bathtub, without whatever. Like I do have experience in all of this stuff, so and I know what to bring, and I know what I'll need, so there's a lot more questions answered than just questions as I had in the first one.
Yeah, and I mean you've been transferring over to Bellator like in a weird time, but how has the transition been, like all in all?
It's been good. Like they're very mellow and really supportive, and the staff is happy. Fight week goes pretty smoothly, and I can, you know, I see all the hard work, and I see, all of the girls at 145, like, representing, and it's really cool to be part of the deepest, best division, or best promotion at 145 in the world. We're the big ones, and that's it's really cool, and there's a lot of us. So I'm just proud to be part of it. I'm proud to be alongside a lot of these ladies, and we're doing big things.
Yeah. I mean, not to compare to the UFC, but I feel like in the UFC, fighters need to have more of like a gimmick or like a presence like outside of the cage. Do you feel like less of a pressure to have that in Bellator? Because I feel like they do a better job of promoting their fighters themselves instead of the fighters having to promote themselves, kind of.
Yeah, I think that for sure. I think that the UFC wants, like, they kind of support living up to the stereotypes, and they want people to um, be interesting, whether it's in a positive or negative way, and that's awesome and it's nice, but like we don't always know what to do, and everyone's kind of guessing as far as like, what do I need to do to be someone that makes money, because it's not as much about how you do as it is about what you say and how you act. And so that part gets tricky. Bellator, they just want to take care of you, and they want to treat you and respect you as a martial artist, expect you to do good in your fights and support you so that you can, and that's a really big deal and a very big difference. And like I appreciate the calm that gets to come with that, and the attention that gets to go into my training camp, and the fact that I get to put so much more of my energy into me and into my rest and into the adrenaline and the endorphins that I get to put wherever, because I don't have to sit and um guess at what I need to do, outside of the cage. I get to focus on what I want to do inside the cage. And that is really important to me. And I'm super grateful.
And especially like you never know what is going to get you towards the title shot or moving up the rankings in the UFC. It's like kind of like if you're trash talking, you can get a title fight as opposed to like fighting actually to move up. But I wanted to ask you about the Bellator rankings. Like, do you think that is a good thing? Like, what do you think of them when they came out?
I was a little surprised, but um, I also like if they're basing it off of experience, then yes, I have one fight in Bellator, so that on that level is fair. If they're basing it off of like pedigree and like what you've accomplished overall, I feel like it was a bit off. But again, I'm okay with having to earn my way through anything. So if that's where I'm at and that's where I'm perceived to be at, like, okay, I I'm I'm not here to be labeled or be put on you know, a bracket or a system like that, like, I'm taking it fight by fight. I'm taking it minute by minute, kick by kick, and I know I'll end up where I'm supposed to, no matter what. It'll make sense no matter what. I just got to keep doing what I'm doing and showing up and working my way to get my hand raised. And I get where I get, I always have.
Is the belt like the ultimate goal right now?
I feel like we're all supposed to say that the belt is the ultimate goal. That's, but really, like, I see it as fighting my best fights, and that earning me the next best fight, and that earning me the next best fight, and whoever is considered the best at that time, I want to fight them. I want to see me versus them and what they own as far as their skills and what I own as far as my skills, and like who figures it out. I would love to see some of my rematches in my life. And I would love to feel that belt wrapped around my waist. I've done so much in this sport. I've experienced a lot at many different levels. And I haven't felt a belt at 145. I haven't felt it at 135, but I did take a title fight. So, all of this stuff are still goals. They're all things that I still want to do. And, being part of this huge division of 145-pound girls, it would really be amazing to be the number one, for sure.
You've had a pretty long career to this point. What do you like attribute your longevity in the sport?
Just that I love these challenges. Like, I love learning the sport and then getting the opportunity to go take everything that I've learned and like do it and use it and get to put all my power behind it. And I mean, it's a great distraction. It's a super healthy outlet for me. It's in my soul. Like, I'm meant to do this. I'm meant to, be at the front of the lines in these wars because that's what drives me. And it always has. Ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to do the hardest thing and see where I stand. And to me, this is the hardest thing in the world. And getting through it and being successful at it feels amazing because I know not everybody can do this. And I wish everybody could find this version of that for themselves because it is so rewarding. It is a great way to tire yourself out. And at the end of the day, know exactly who you are because of who you are at your best and your worst and your most vulnerable and your strongest. And I love learning it. I love fighting. I love the emotions that go into it. I love who it tells me I am. And it's a gift to have every single day. And I'm still very inspired.
Can you think of any like lessons that you had to learn in the beginning of your career that you put into place now that helps you now?
Um, I learned not to, well, I guess not to take any opponents lightly, not to obsess about them either. I've learned, you know, weight cuts and all of those things. Like there's ways to do it and that are going to hurt you, and there's ways to do it that are going to be healthy. That the longevity is important as far as what you want out of your life. And when my body told me it was done at each of these different weight classes, it was time to go up, and listening to that I felt has been really smart for me. I think, yeah, just resilience gets you places that you always get to be proud of. And that's one of the best things that I get to look back on is like how tough things got, but it doesn't matter when you keep going and then you finally see why keeping going was the right thing to do, and just balance, finding a better, I guess, a solid home gym balance, and what you do with your time in between, doing things that are like crazy and wild. Like, it's interesting because I used to need to listen to music that would get me pumped up, or not need to, but would want to listen to music that would get me pumped up and riled up on the way to the gym. So when I got there, I was like ready. And now I'd rather, you know, have something calm, happy, that when I get to because I know when I get to the gym, I'm going to just be crazy, you know? And so I kind of soaking up every moment of the chill part before it's time to go 1,000, because then that 1,000 gets to be 1,000, not minus anything, because I already amped myself up without needing to for 20 minutes before, you know? So those are all fun things to figure out.
Yeah, you probably enjoy the quiet time too. Like I know you're a mom. I'm a mom too. When I get like a minute alone in the car, I'm like, oh, it's like a little vacation.
Yes, yes. That's been one of the best parts about my son being a little bit older now, is that um, he can manage a little bit more without having to be entertained all of the time.
What do you know about your opponent, and what can you expect from her?
I expect a good fight. I expect that. Um, she's. I expect out of her what I would expect out of me, out of anyone. I see her. I've seen videos and images of her at her best. For the most part, I've watched what I could at the beginning, and then I hand everything over to my coaches, and they have me trained for things I can expect out of her, things that I can't expect out of her, things that I just need to get better at on my own. It's very, very particular how I get ready, and I'm taking her very seriously. Every fight is dangerous. Every single person in there has their day, and I just really want to do good. And I know I did everything that I could to get ready for this fight, and I believe that, and get ready for any fight at that. Anyone could be put in front of me right now, and I feel I'm at my best. So it's it's a week from today, and right now it's just maintaining and showing up.
Thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a good day.